Oh, do we have to count? Do we want to count? Do you need us to count?
Oh, yeah, let's do a quick...
1.
Okay.
2.
3.
3.
Wait, how did that go? Let's start that over. Anyway, welcome to Pleasant Evenings Book Club. This is Hannah, as always. We are joined for the first time ever by Roberto and Corbin. You guys want to say hello?
Hello. Pleasure meeting you all for the first time ever.
For the first time ever.
It's weird that the first time feels like, I don't know, the 10th time is crazy. It feels like I've known you forever.
We're on the same wavelength. It's like yeah. Anyway, so, today we are covering, well, this is pretty old school, but we are doing Tolkien's Tale of Tinuviel. Am I saying that right, Corbin? Corbin's our sort of resident Tolkien head, relatively speaking.
Yes, I've never heard it said out loud, so I'm going to say yeah, though. That's how I would say it. Tinuviel makes most sense.
Cool.
Oh, I'm waiting for the lovely, handsome, beautiful dorks out there to be like, it's Tinuviel.
Oh yeah,
No.
I didn't think about that. If we fuck this up, they're gonna crucify us. They're gonna crucify us out there. So here's a question. Just a background kind of thing. This is the same universe as the Lord of the Rings? Yes, and if so, before, yeah.
Yeah, this is during what I believe is the First Age within the larger context of Tolkien lore.
Gotcha.
I think also this is like, in a way, like even prehistory of that, because this is like a first pass before Tolkien like solidified his lore.
Right.
Yeah, when was this? 1920s that he first drafted this?
It was exactly 100 years ago.
Nice.
Wow, that's fucked up.
And what's crazy is that holds true no matter when you're listening to this. It's Captain America rules.
Oh, that's so funny. Look at the timestamp on the YouTube video. All right? Don't complain.
Yeah, it's going to be a little crazy, like, jumping into this one, because we're just going to, like, trip over every single...
My Jude has, like, a style of prose that I kind of forgot about. I read the trilogy, The Lord of the Rings, when I was a youngin'. But some of his language is really odd. You know what I mean? Like, he'll jump from tense to tense. Like, sometimes it's in past tense, but sometimes it's in present. Like, have you noticed that? He'll be like, now comes such and such upon the river. It's like, right now? Like...
I will notice like one bit of prose that I thought was strange was... and I think he does like this kind of backfill a couple of times, where suddenly two people are talking, and then he'll say like, and then he'll say, Gerald, for that's what his name was, said this or that.
Yeah.
Which was his name, by the way.
He seems to sort of draw like sort of direct inspiration from things like sagas and that, you know what I mean? And that everything he writes feels a little bit like old-timey and translated, But it just started that way.
He was a professor of Anglo-Saxon, so he's very much into those sagas and that.
Yeah, I mean, this book that we have is that we're reading from, the Lost Tales edition that we have, like, comes with like some excerpts of like other like passes at the story that he's taken, and in the epic poem version of the story, I think it's called the Lay of Luthien. Lay of Lathian. Like, just like reading through it, it is very genuinely written in the style of I don't know, Middle English. I guess that's a language. I don't know the proper terms, but like medieval epic poem.
Right. Anywho. Does anybody wanna give us the summary?
Yeah, I'll take a crack at it. Let me know if I'm skipping anything, getting anything wrong, etc., etc. just to refresh everyone on the tale of Tinuviel. Honestly, I don't think. I mean, I know that the Amazon series has been met with the same kind of incel anger you would expect from something like that. But I don't know if those are actually the Tolkien heads who are like being angry. I bet the Tolkien heads are chill.
Is it enough to get mad like without like taking like a any kind of like edgy or racist perspective, like God, like for real? Is it maybe like fair to say that like probably that Jeff Bezos probably did fuck up some of the Tolkien lore?
Oh,
You know what I
probably.
mean?
I
Like,
don't know.
do you know what I mean? Like, does it say, like I part of me it seems like some of them are pissed about something silly and illegitimate and racist, and then like the rest of them are probably pissed about something kind of annoying, which is like the commodification of like.
I like what I've seen so far. I'm not gonna lie. Like that's.
I won't be watching it.
Like Bezos has undoubtedly fucked it up, and Amazon is evil, but there's some good content.
I don't think I'm gonna watch it. I don't know. I'm really jaded towards Amazon, like specifically. Like I'll watch shit that they host, you know what I mean? But I don't want like anything to do with shit that they made. You know what I mean? Does that follow?
No, that's an entirely fair, frankly, probably correct position to have in our.
Because I was gonna say like if you're hoping to hear me talk about the new one, I can't because I haven't seen it and I probably don't want to. But this was good. I did enjoy I enjoyed reading the Tale of Tinuviel.
I mean, this one's clearly better for sure, but. Right. Content is content, and I'll pursue it.
Yeah, no, that's fair. And I don't mean to just knock it blindly because I haven't seen it and I have no interest in seeing it. But like, it could be good for all I know. I feel like it isn't, and two, I don't want to like give Jeff Bezos the ad revenue to find out.
No,
is it the same score? Like, is Howard Shore doing the music?
I'm gonna say no because. I mean, the OST does not at all compare to.
Damn.
The old movies.
Oh, that's the thing that would have especially. I had the special extended edition of the Fellowship of the Ring DVD, and none of the other ones. But I watched that one so much. Like that's such a foundational thing for me.
No, I mean that original trilogy cannot be touched. I mean. Even by later Peter Jackson efforts with is
the way it can be both like just like the reification of everyone's dreams, staying up late, like reading Lord of the Rings, like the way it brought that world to life, as well as be classics in film. Like if there was no Lord of the Rings books and it was just those movies, it would still be like.
It might stand better, honestly, if it were just their own movies.
It'd be pretty crazy, like all the languages and all the world building details. Like, we just pull that out just to be in the corner. What could that be about? It would be impressive in the same way that it's impressive that Tolkien did all this.
I guess I wanted to do some devil's advocacy. Those came out before the era of like Twitter and YouTube, so. Had they come out now, there may very well be a large voice of Tolkien heads and detractors.
Oh, I guess. Yeah, especially like in this particular era of YouTube and Twitter. I don't know like when the turn happened, but I feel like maybe after Last Jedi or maybe sometime before, it became an industry to just like peddle nerd hate too.
Nerd hate. Oh my god.
for lack of a better word. I don't know what else to call it.
I
Just
like that. I like that.
Yeah, nerd hate is like a market force.
Yeah, exactly.
I'm just obsessed. I'm obsessed. Anyway, getting into it.
Yeah, I can do a compressed version. Let me just not do any of it. Okay, so
Right.
yeah, as Corbin talked about before, this is set in a very early time in Middle Earth. The backstory we need to know is that there is a kingdom, a small kingdom of elves, whose king is Tinuviel, who are kind of in hiding or in like resistance or opposition to this evil dark king, who will later be called Morgoth, but for this story is called, what's his name? Melvin?
Yeah, it was Melvin.
Melkor.
Melkor.
Melvin.
Melko.
Melvin. Yes.
Melvin, yeah. Sorry, yeah. Did I say Melko?
Millhouse.
No, it's absolutely Millhouse.
Okay.
But so Tinuviel has two children. Dairon, who's like super good at the flute, and Tinuviel, who is even better at dancing. And they love to go out into the woods and play their little instrument and dance in the meadow. Whereupon one fateful day, Baron, a gnome, which, like, when I had to Google it. I'm glad I looked it up because I was picturing like a gnome.
Oh, what am I supposed to be picturing?
Elf.
Okay, I'm googling gnome Tolkien. Because I was picturing a lawn gnome.
Yeah, me too.
But
So that really changes like the visuals for the story. There's like a little guy with rosy cheeks.
What does he actually look like? I'm not finding any pictures of him. I'm gonna look.
You can see him on the cover of the Lost Tales. Like, I think that's him next to Tinuviel and Juan.
Oh wow! So he's like just a handsome guy.
Yeah.
Okay.
I kind of wish it had been a gnome, but I guess this is supposed to be the more beautiful heroes of myth kind of model for a story.
Yeah, I was imagining him sort of like well, so you know how they describe like, and again, I don't want to get ahead of you, but you know how they describe them as both being sort of elves. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
I kind of described, in the way that like dwarves are seen as like elves that moved into the mountains. That's kind of what I was imagining. So like a shorter, stockier elf, but not quite a dwarf. You know what I mean? Without being an actual garden gnome.
My take, and Professor Corbin can confirm for us or not. My take was that gnomes is some kind of lesser elf.
Oh yeah.
Yeah,
I can see it.
I think it's mentioned. So, like, Baron's people were the elves that were subjected to Melko and
yeah, I picked up on that in the epic poem version of the story. I'm not sure if it's in
version 2, I think.
Yeah, I only read the one version. I am so sorry, guys. I didn't realize there were versions.
I didn't read the poetry version myself.
Okay, so okay, good. I feel I kind of wish I did for the context now, but I'm glad I wasn't.
That little terse little like lore dump that he wrote too.
Yeah.
Yeah, you guys read more than I did. I'm sorry. I should have talked more about the scope of this with you, I guess. I didn't realize.
I just sort of like leafed through it. Like, I'm fully committed. My plan here is to get everything wrong on purpose.
I'm not a professor either, by the way.
No,
I was not going to drop that.
I got that wrong on purpose as well.
I mean, even Hannah's point though of like dwarves being elves into the mountains. I mean, that's
yeah, like a similar arc of like people that are cast off from their homeland, like I don't know. I guess I don't know if dwarves are lower, but like pushed up to like a different way of life.
Yeah, and then they end up judging each other for those ways of life.
Baron doesn't get the backup he needs to be able to come in from a place of judgment. When he's introduced, he's all alone. Just says that he's lonely. He's a hunter, and these meadows that Tinuviel and Dairon play in are like he's new to them, and he sees how beautiful Tinuviel is, how beautiful her dancing is, and he's like, damn. Dairon and Tinuviel are not used to seeing randos like this, so they flee, making Baron even more sad. But he was persistent though, and he found her, one time dancing alone, and Tinuviel realizes that Baron appreciates her dancing better than anyone ever has or could.
Aw.
Yeah, it's a sweet thing. It's
Yeah. It's nice.
I mean, that's a romantic thing. Like, I like the way this person looks at me.
Right.
They're a couple now. In the old-fashioned kind of way. But I believe what happens is Baron and Tinuviel go to meet Tinwilint together. And Baron's like, I want to marry your daughter. And Tinwilint is like, this trash, he wants to marry my beautiful daughter. Like, as a joke, kind of, he says, I'll do it if you get me a Silmaril from the crown of Melvin.
Millhouse.
Like that means going over to his scary castle. Baron is like, okay, fine. Like, he kind of calls the bluff as a show of his devotion, make himself more worthy of Tinuviel in Tinwilint's eyes. So he goes off to get it. When he gets there, he manages to get an audience with Millhouse, and he kind of like flatters him into getting an internship at the castle. He's saying like, I'm a hunter, and I would love to serve you because you're so cool. He's usually good at catching lies unless people are flattering him. So he's like, all right, cool. I'll let you go to my friend's house, a cat named Tevildo.
The names. It makes it sound so whimsical. Like, going to send you to see my friend the cat Tevildo.
Prince of Cats, might I add. Royalty.
Yeah, I mean, the most whimsical thing is Tevildo, Prince of Cats.
Yeah, that's a silly ass name. Even Milk Toast is kind of silly back there.
Yeah, it's not ordinary. The Prince of Cats is not ordinary. All the cats there are huge, and they live in an even scarier, darker castle.
As furries often do. And we'll find out later. Tevildo is more of that than most. Yeah, that's true. Well, I don't know. I don't want to spoil.
But if anyone wants to read it, like, honestly, like, once you get used to the old-fashioned flavor of the writing, like, this does have like the same kind of draw that maybe you would get when you're like a little kid reading mythology books.
It slaps.
It slaps. In other words, yeah. So Tevildo is like, okay, do you want to be a hunter for us? Like, prove how good you are at hunting by catching some mice for me. But of course, being in a castle full of giant magic cats, he can only find huge mice that are themselves augmented by dark magic that Tevildo just keeps around for his own entertainment. And they're like way too tough. They're way too difficult for Baron's skills. So after 3 days, Tevildo's like, I knew it. I don't know why Meldor wants to, like, brought you over. You're no good, but you can clean for us and cook for us, and like really, like, puts him into the mailroom. And now from then on, like, he's barely eating, and he's like working all day, and he's been reduced to a prisoner. He's given up all hope of escaping.
At least he's paid in experience.
Yeah. Yeah, he got caught. Now, meanwhile, back at home, Tinuviel, what is it? Like, she asked her mom, who has like special psychic powers, to like show her how Baron's doing because she's very nervous about him. She thought it was like a cruel joke to make him do that. And finding out what's happening, she wants to go help him, and when she tells her dad about her plan, her dad is like, "That's no good to me. From now on, you're gonna be in a big house at the top of this giant tree with barely any limbs that you can't climb down. And every day, people are gonna bring food up for you. Take the ladder with them when they're done." But Tinuviel is very crafty, so she uses her wiles and her magic to come up with an escape plan. She asks for... Okay, I don't know if everyone remembers like the things she asks for. She asks for I believe milk in a silver container.
Yeah, something with the moon. I know she needs like a spinning wheel.
Something must be brought to her quietly, and then the other thing must be brought to her with the people singing.
Yeah, this is the most like mythology moment for me. But it was like, yeah, with some liquid in a gold container and some liquid in a silver container one had to be carried only when the moon was full, and another had to be carried while singing, which the guards were very accommodating to do. Dairon brings her a spinning wheel. Out of this, she makes a dark cloak that can like put people to sleep, and she makes like a special ointment that when she puts on her hair while singing about long things, like will make her hair grow very long. She sings about the longest things that there are, like the neck of some creature and the tree that she's in and other tall things. And her hair grows so long that she's able to cut it off and use it as rope to climb down. She dances past all the guards because she's able to make them go to sleep with her robe. And soon enough, she's in the forest, Milkman's woods. There, she meets Juan. He's the leader of the dogs. He's very big and he's very nice. He's actually friends with Baron. She talks about Baron's plight, and he's like, "I wonder if that's the same Baron that I know."
Yeah, he does do that. I'm not sure why. Isn't it like Baron's family has some pull or something with the dogs? Also, unironically, are these literally dogs? Or are they like dog men? Same with the cats for that matter. I made that joke about furries earlier, but after a point in this, I'm like, wait, what are these things? You know?
The cats are for sure, they go on all fours.
Right.
And the dogs, like they are, compared to wolves.
Okay. That's true. Because there are times where they seem almost humanoid, just in the way that they're talked about and described, you know?
Yeah, I got kind of Narnia vibes.
Yeah, okay. I can work with that. All right, sorry. That question set aside. That's all.
Actually, I think like the cats for sure are literally cats too, because when he goes on his cat hatred rant, like he talks about how cats are today as a result. Like why cats today are full of evil and hatred and jealousy.
Yeah. Okay. Gotcha.
Also there's an interesting bit of like it made me like feel like I caught Tolkien in something when he says that wolves came from dogs. When Kelvin was, I don't know, in his dark bidding, he like bred certain dogs for more evil, and that's how wolves came about.
Huh.
You can just say it's like it's the idealized mythological like Arthurian past of Earth.
Yeah.
But anyways, yeah, Juan isn't entirely sure if it's his Baron, but he's compelled to help Tinuviel anyways. Juan is just like, in very dog-like fashion, he's just very happy to help. And like he helps come up with a plan for her. Oh, you know what? I'm so sorry. I said it was gonna be a compressed thing, and I feel like it's not. But like, it's fun. It's a very plotty story. It's actually like pretty. Like it's got fun twists and turns.
For how short it is, because it's obviously a short story. It feels it's very epic in scope. Like it covers a lot of ground, like in terms of like events that occur within its pages.
Yeah, the hunt that happens later is like structurally it feels like old school in a way that like really like makes it feel big with only a few pages. But anyways,
Right.
the plan is for Tinuviel to go up to the castle and say that to get news to Tevildo that Juan is hurt for some reason. Tevildo won't be able to resist because they actually have a pretty deep rivalry. Juan's actually got to bite Tevildo every once or twice. So she goes there. She notices Baron in the kitchen, or like she announces herself as Tinuviel, and like Baron like drops some stuff, and she realized okay, no, he's here. He recognizes me. Like we're gonna make it out.
Well, she does sort of trick what's his name into going out to the woods, right? That's how it starts. Tevildo, he is tricked, I believe, to go.
Yeah. She does end up tricking him, like, and Tolkien explains like the way that Melko, was able to be tricked by flattery. Tevildo was tricked because he wanted to believe that Juan was hurt so bad.
Right, but so when they get out there, the trap essentially works, but they don't quite win completely. Like I think one of the three cats that go out there dies, right, and then two of them sort of end up stuck up a tree. Is that correct?
No, Tevildo ends up stuck up a tree.
Yeah, and the other one.
Was two stuck up a tree?
Yeah.
I thought just one.
No, because I remember they propose a couple different ways that they can like.
Oh, okay. Yeah. Yeah. She lures him out, to see to where Juan is like pretending to be hurt. When the cats come up, Juan kills one of them, and drives the others up the tree. And then they talk about like, okay, so let's negotiate. Like you can leave if you get Baron. And I think they have another cat go out and get him while Tevildo's stuck up on the tree.
You're right, but they're like, no, fuck that though, because then if the cat goes, you know what I mean, then they'll just bring back all the armies of the cat people to save Tevildo, right? So what they come up with is like, there isn't it like a token that they use, like a token of
the gold collar, but then there's concern like, oh, if we just show your cat guards or cat army this gold collar, they could obviously be concerned and still show up.
So they make him give the magic word that had all these cats in Tevildo's thrall.
Oh yeah.
Your dark secret.
So then she goes up with the collar. She says the words, and all the cats become normal cats. They like become smaller, and they all kind of scurry out. Tevildo's enemies reveal that he wasn't actually a cat, but he was some kind of fey creature that was pretending to be a cat.
A furry, as the kids call it.
It's revealed he was actually one of Aslan's many identities.
like all furries, he was influenced by the good word of Jesus Christ.
That's right. I don't know. I wish I could give credit to like whoever said that Aslan was God's persona, but like that was really funny.
That's really funny.
That's amazing. I have not heard that before.
Well, you're welcome, Corbin. It's all yours.
That's the gap between Tolkien and C.S. Lewis. Like it is no comparing. No offense to furries. No, furry like.
I thought you were about to say C.S. Lewis, and I was like, no, I'm cool on the apologism.
No, I'm much more concerned because furries do get bullied a lot. They're a punching bag for sure, but
I mean, it all comes down to the Prince of Cats.
Yes, I love the jump cut that's going to end with like us picking back up with it. All comes down to the Prince of Cats. Just like very obvious, like edit.
It's a shame. I don't want to associate cats with evil. Apparently, there's a story writing to one of his editors. He said, "I'm afraid that to me, cats are the fauna of Mordor."
Oh my god. My dude did not like cats.
He was not a cat person.
Yeah, I'm losing respect for him, honestly.
Yeah, anyone listening, anyone who's listened to the Junji Ito episode, like, our opinions on cats are... are documented now.
We're cat positive.
They're just sweet. They're just little guys.
Yeah, they're just mans.
They're smart.
One thing we have to remember is Tolkien was some Victorian era British Empire person.
Yeah, he was a guy from who grew up in Victorian era, experiencing like Edwardian nostalgia for the past, who even then was further returned to tradition than his peers. Yeah, he was returned to tradition enough that he kind of went full circle into pretty cool ecological conservationism. I love his outlook on trees.
Man, we need more of that. I don't know. I don't want to get climate doomy on every podcast. Let's make sure we don't include any climate doom shit.
I guess Lord of the Rings would have more of that.
Right.
Explicitly, yeah. Two Towers, Scouring of the Shire.
That one's even more directly scathing of modern society
and industrialization of impacting our old ways.
But this is, we don't have to worry about that. We're living in the real old times, in the true good old days. Or not even then. It's not even good old days then.
I might as well just say it now. What I really like about this is the lack of any explicitly declared human character.
I didn't catch that. Men are mentioned a couple of times, are they not?
Yeah, but they never appear though. There's never a human character that is named that makes an appearance.
Honest to God, I'm really glad you pointed that out because I don't think I would have noticed, which is even crazier.
I really like the anti-humanist take that could be extended with that.
To a point though, because it's either when Tinuviel or when Beren are buttering up Melko. I think it's Beren. He talks about where he is, where he's from, where elves and men intermingle, and it's Melko who's violently against that. He says he had made a point to try to stop all fraternization between men and elves.
That's true.
And then Beren backtracks and is oh, never, no, of course not.
Well, I think Melko is interested in having humans fall under his complete control, and elves would definitely disrupt that.
I guess it's that. I guess it's is Tolkien Catholic or Anglican? Whatever.
He was pretty explicitly Catholic. Yeah, I mean, okay. This is where some
original sin stuff, men being this corrupt thing inherently, as opposed to elves.
I don't know about corrupt. The choice is there for humans, which I guess comes down to original sin.
But weaker and lower than elves, but this idea that they're they can be redeemed by more powerful, more beautiful, pure beings.
Yeah, and I guess that process of redemption.
Yeah, I guess that's what's cool. Tolkien, he's at least thoughtful. He doesn't just make it's not he's not writing a My Farag rulebook
name dropping My Farag. Oh my god.
For the people who know,
I feel like we have to be careful just name dropping that though, because it's gonna make it sound racist. Unironically, anybody who does know is gonna be what the fuck,
But I'm saying it's not. I'm saying
right. It's not. It has nothing to do with it.
I don't know. Maybe in the books it's different. In the movies, I remember the way that elves talked about men being something that kind of makes elves look bad, their insularness, contributing to their own kind of decline.
Yeah, we're rather far away from that in this story explicitly. Yeah.
How far did we get in the summary? Because I don't even...
They save Beren, so they go away, and they're just kind of chilling. They just go off to some forests that are for neither here nor there.
Assuming this could be in the course of hundreds of years, who knows?
It could have been that way for them. That's another biblical thing. I remember like as a kid finding out that Abraham like might have lived to like 900 years old or something, and like they explained to me that's like, you know, as humans fell away from grace, like their lifespans became shorter.
They found cocaine and tobacco in the system of Ramses II.
Yeah,
amounts of his.
Oh, okay. So in the books, is it what it is in the movies when Saruman says to Gandalf like too much pipe it has like clouded your brain?
I don't recall. It's something similar, yeah.
Like at least in the movies, Gandalf like lights up.
Gandalf blows down, bro.
I mean, there's a whole style of pipe named after him.
Yeah, that's true.
And that's not for tobacco.
It's for that wacky tobacco.
The funny thing about like the success of Lord of the Rings in the 60s was that it got like appropriated by hippies.
The entirety of Led Zeppelin.
Yeah.
Not the entirety.
I think it's on Ramble On. That's like I think it's on Ramble On. That's like the funniest bit of Lord of the Rings that doesn't like make any sense. Do you know what I'm talking about? It's like, you know, like Led Zeppelin, they're funny because like they are like Tolkien dorks, but they're also like cock rock.
True.
Yeah, I mean, I think Misty Mountain Hop might be a good example of that.
But is it on Ramble On? Like he's talking about some babe, some fit bird, you know, this fine, beautiful lady, and then Gollum comes and takes her away.
Yeah.
Not what Gollum is known to do.
He's famous for it.
He's always, yeah, Mr. Steal Your Girl, Gollum.
Gollum was pretty hot.
Oh, that's true. That's
Where are we at in the summary? This is our most disorganized episode ever.
We're doing fine.
Wait. I want to say one thing about Gollum, just real quick.
Okay.
I can save him. All right, so
Poor little meow meow.
that was it. Yeah. So Juan and Tinuviel and Baron are in the forest, just chilling, and after a while, Tinuviel starts getting homesick. He's like, I gotta go back to my dad and my house and my castle life. But she loves Baron like just as much. So but Baron is like, well, I can't go because your dad will laugh at me if I don't have the Silmaril. It'll be
super embarrassing.
Yeah, they'll all laugh at me at school if I show up and I don't have a Silmaril. So, Tinuviel realizes that she herself, like, she can't let go of Baron either. So they're like, okay, I guess we gotta go in for one last job. They make a plan to get the Silmaril from the crown of
Milk toast.
Milk toast. The plan involves Baron discovering his inner furry. So Juan has a pelt of like a very like tough cat that he killed as a trophy, and Tinuviel's like, okay, can we have that pelt? And she sews this skin onto Baron, and they spend some time practicing how to be a cat, like doing all the movements, and he basically has it down.
I do that too, yeah.
Yeah. They stream Valorant. They
Stop.
I don't know what. That's my only. He gets everything down except for the meowing, but they figure that's enough. So they go out to Melko's castle, and right outside they meet Karkaras, a wolf who's a little suspicious. How do they slip past him? They make him go to sleep, right?
Yeah.
Okay, yeah. So yeah, Karkaras falls asleep after Tinuviel does her little dance with her coat on, and they go see Melko, and Tinuviel's like, she says like, "What's up? I'm Tinuviel, and I would love to do a little dance for you." And Melko's like, "I hate dancing, but
I'm very mad at my dad."
Like that's part of how she flatters him by saying like, that my dad and you don't get along, but my dad sucks, and I bet you're way cooler. Can I do this little dance for you? Melko, he's not a big fan of the dancing arts, but he likes what he hears. Like, well, go ahead and do a dance. And she does so, and Melko falls asleep. So, Baron in cat mode, goes up, grabs a crown, and using a knife, like, pries out the Silmaril. In doing so, the knife breaks. Yeah, I think Baron like rips off his cat costume. I think like he's so startled and he like wants to move so fast. He does so, and they think they're gonna get away, but Karkaras has woken up and he walks into Mirko's room, and seeing this, like, he lunges at Baron, who like tries to fight back. He gives him a punch, and his hand ends up inside of Karkaras's mouth, and Karkaras bites down. This is the hand that's holding the Silmaril. So Karkaras ends up swallowing the jewel and the hand together. But the Silmaril, being something that is very holy, Karkaras's body immediately rejects him, and he acts as if there's a big fire inside, and he like starts yelping, going crazy, and
Image of a wolf, like, tenderly swallowing a woman's
I see what's
face.
happening. Me and who?
Image of Blade from Elden Ring in a sexually provocative pose.
Oh my god, Google needs to go faster. It's ruining my comedic timing.
I'll say this is the most fun record I've had in a while. So
Okay, I didn't know how to I didn't know how to bring him up, but Blade had come up in my head a couple of times. Like basically
here he
Blade's
is.
voice was Juan's voice.
It's kind of how I envisioned him too, which is maybe why I asked if he was like a furry. You know, I was having trouble viewing him as something other than anthropomorphic.
Yeah.
You know, I guess that's what living in the year 2022 does to a person, but
yeah,
it's
times
the
have
year of our
changed.
Lord 2022.
Like, had the furry technology that we have now existed back then, surely Tolkien and like all the Inklings would have known.
Yeah, Tolkien would have loved Elden Ring.
That is a crazy gif.
I didn't actually.
I can't stop watching it.
I was gonna send you a different gift, to be honest, on the subject of werewolves, but my computer is so slow right now. I just cannot get anything done on this fucking thing.
Maybe that's for the best. Like, maybe this show's already derailed enough. Yeah, Karkaras bit the hand, ate the Silmaril, and yelped in pain, waking up Millhouse. And Millhouse sees what's happening. It's like, hey, it's you. Like, I've been swindled. And they manage to run away. They take some time to heal, and after a while, Tinuviel convinces Baron and Juan to go meet. Oh my god. I know why it's a pineapple too, like.
Video of a pineapple in a hydraulic press squirting suggestively.
I don't.
Well, it's sounds like someone hasn't been putting in their 10,000 hours yipping.
Okay.
Yeah, Tinuviel convinces Baron and Juan to go because they believe that she believes that that Tinuviel will look past everything and just be so happy that Tinuviel is safe. And you know what? A for effort. They tried very hard, and Juan especially. He was such a trooper. He helped us so much. He's gotta go talk to Tinuviel. So they go. And we find that Tinwillin's kingdom is in disarray. Like, he's been so
Shambles.
Yeah, he's in the kingdom and Tinuviel have been in shambles. Like they've been so distraught by Tinuviel's absence, you know, and the presumed danger that she's been in, that he's just lost his ability to lead effectively. And to make matters worse, there's been this crazy wolf running around, like that's just like been acting like just killing indiscriminately, drinking water nonstop, like just really putting a fright in everyone. Will that come up later? Yes. So they go to talk to Tinuviel, and Baron decides to be a little slick, and he's like, you know, here's your daughter and all that. And Tinuviel is like, oh, you have, and I presume you have the Silmaril, right? Baron says, actually, I have it in my hand right now. But of course, he means the hand that's inside of the wolf. And he explains the situation. So they go out on a wolf hunt. Tinuviel, Baron, Juan, and I think some randos go. It's like an old classic medieval hunt, I think. That's how I picture like a painting by a Dutch master.
Yeah. That's kind of how I envisioned it.
It's a nice little victory lap thing, but not quite, because they go to retrieve the jewel, and in the fray, fighting the wolf, Baron actually dies. With the last of his strength, he offers the Silmaril to Tinuviel. Now we kind of cut away, and we find that the story that we've been reading has been a story told, among a group of people, presumably around a fire, and they argue about what they think happens afterwards. So either Baron dies and that's it, or Tinuviel goes to make an Orphean plea to the powers that be to bring back Baron, and they lived happily ever after, doing a bunch of other stuff. Yeah, but with the potential and the legend that they leave behind, we leave this story. And that was the Tale of Tinuviel.
Tinuviel.
What?
Tale of... Yes.
Tale of Tanuki.
Yeah.
Tuvan
and Grooven, yes, indeed. So, well, that was our least serious episode yet for some reason.
We're trying a new
style. Yeah. Do you have anything of critical value to say after all that?
We inserted our commentary during the summary, I thought.
Yeah, I thought so too.
Do you have any more thoughts?
It feels like kind of goes without saying, given Tolkien's professorial status, but like this really did capture the flavor of reading like mythology. Like random rules and tricks play such a big part.
Yeah.
It's good storytelling. I like reading like about like someone coming up with a crazy plan and it being like something that works just so.
Yeah. I kind of liked I liked that it felt sort of far away from Lord of the Rings, I think. Like I was waiting to hear names I recognized. I think they threw out a Gimli at one point.
They did,
but I don't think it was
a different Gimli, I think.
A different guy, yeah. But I kind of liked that it felt far away, you know? Because I was like, am I just going to hear kind of the same old... Though I did want to ask our resident, our token Tolkiener, so to speak, Corbin, what, is Melko Sauron, or like, who the fuck is Melko?
So, Melko later becomes Morgoth, so... This is a pretty significant villain in the mythos. This is the first Dark Lord that Sauron is second in command to. In later drafts and developments, at least name-wise, it starts to resemble Lord of the Rings as we recognize it. With the Prince of Cats ultimately becoming Sauron.
Yeah, although...
Oh, wow.
Before he had becoming a necromancer.
Yeah, apparently, in the subsequent version, like it's like it's not a cat. It's just some guy called Thu, and Thu is
Oh,
the one
huh.
who becomes Sauron.
Yeah,
Interesting.
a necromancer, yes, named Thu.
Oh, maybe it could be Tu.
I like the cat though.
I kind of like the movies more for that reason, with the Eye of Sauron.
Yeah, it's
Oh,
true.
yeah.
I hope
That's
Peter Jackson had enough awareness of the source material that he was
Right.
dealing with
I mean-
have.
That's a good pickup. I wouldn't have caught that.
I guess that, yeah, I guess like the movies were definitely made by real ones. Like they were definitely fans, the people
Right.
who made that.
What else happens in later drafts? So Baron also becomes a human, a mortal man that now falls in love with an elf.
Yeah, it becomes
which-
like a model for
For Aragorn and what's her name?
Yes. Yeah. It's like the precursor for, I guess, what they view as a tragic relationship.
Oh, because the elf is immortal and the man is not. You ever listen to that album,
Yeah.
Pale Swordsman by? Well,
I heard it. I didn't like dig into the lyrics, but I thought it was very very beautiful. Like I liked
yeah,
the way it shifted in tone.
there was a reason I was trying to sell you on that. That's probably one of the better black metal albums I've ever heard. It really caught me like it. I took that one to the dome. You know what I mean? I was like, holy fuck! But yeah, that's about a lonely vampire. Like essentially someone whose like love has died. Many centuries ago, and like that search for meaning that he has. Yeah, I think it ends, and I might be wrong on this. I don't know. The black metal heads in the chat can correct me, but I believe the ending is he ties himself to a tree and waits for the sun to come up because it's the only way he can figure out to kill himself or something.
Oh, yeah. So like I didn't like take in the lyrics. So I guess I got to revisit it. I meant to ask you because I was like thinking about that album and I forgot what it was called.
Oh yeah, Pale Swordsman by Keck Derrick. But that's spelled Kehtharakh, I believe.
I'll look up Pale Swordsman.
I might be wrong. Yeah, Pale Swordsman's is a way easier of a thing to Google. And also to our viewers, if there are any, check that album out. It's really good. Does that kind of wrap us up?
That is Tale of Tinuviel. I think we recommend it.
You know what I mean? Like I think if you want to like sort of try your hand at something like that, but you're not ready for like Beowulf or like one of the Eddas, like I don't know. I mean, and you're also probably familiar with Lord of the Rings if you're even considering that. So it just seems like a logical step up the ladder of that type of literature.
If like your main experience is The Hobbit and you're still like, but the Lord of the Rings is so long though. Here's another thing you can
Yeah, right.
you can try to whet the appetite.
Yeah, I will say it did feel long, in spite of the fact that I read it in a day. Like when I thought about, when I was thinking back over the story, before we went through the summary, I was like, yeah, there's like a lot of sort of chapter, like phases of it, so to speak.
Yeah,
and
it's
it goes through
well-paced,
several
like,
movements.
There's a lot of action involved.
Yeah, that too.
I will say one thing. I think it's I guess it's part of what the story is, and it's part of also like just like having a story. Baron, like he acts like he has to do this, but
Oh yeah.
well,
I think
he could have backed out like many times.
I think the idea is that honor means something different to people at this point. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Like you don't have a hero without like an unnecessary amount of honor. Is I guess what I'd say back to that. I mean
he seems like a smartass of a character too, though. Just kind of based on his response. Some minerals in my hand, but where's my hand?
Oh, I mean,
like,
yeah, that felt like
Yeah.
I got like big Odysseus vibes.
yeah,
Epic moment.
Odysseus, sure, that's a similar figure, and that's the type of figure that would be like, oh, you want me to go get this crystal? Fine, whatever, no big deal.
It was like an ancient epic mic drop. Do you know what I mean?
And it's also cool how active Tinuviel is in all of it. Like they both like just throw themselves into these things. Like I guess it's a way to show the depths, the reach of their devotion.
Right.
like by the end of it, like Tinuviel and Baron and Juan too, in their own way, like they felt like a tight knit group just because of like all what that they were willing to do for each other. They really like they didn't have to spend much time justifying it. I guess because also the mythic thing, if you just say these people are friends or these people are committed, these people are in love, you simply accept it.
If you can like sort of distill it down to like a good versus evil thing, then all of a sudden then they have like this inherent reason to stick together and care about each other. Like their motives aren't more complicated than like, well, some of us are good and we have to fight the bad. And I mean, that's not like a bad thing here. It allows for those like broad strokes to be painted, I think.
Yeah, but what like motivates Baron and Tinuviel is each other. Like it's not about getting one over on the evil Melko. And
that's
Juan
true.
Seems like maybe there's some noble thing there, but it seems like he just has his loyalties and he has his grudges, and like that's it.
Fair.
Fuck this cat.
I guess we're not given. I don't know that we're given enough about him to like make that assumption. I mean, he's just what do we know about him other than that he has like a pack of dogs? And that they generally fight the cats. It's so like right. I mean, these things are just too general. Do you know what I mean? Like it's so general.
He has but part of why he's motivated to help is because he's got some like debt or like some like bond with Baron's father or something.
Oh yeah, I recall that now that you mention it.
And in general, like he and his dogs and the cats just like are always eager to get one over on each other anyways.
Like cats and dogs.
Like cats and dogs.
Yeah.
Good and evil, apparently.
Right. Yeah, apparently. Remind me to never take a cat to Tolkien's house, I guess. Oh yeah.
You would think I guess not anymore, but like when I picture like an academic old guy in tweed, a cat is just there,
right?
In my imagination.
I guess in his case,
it's hard not to imagine him in an armchair with a cat nearby, and I guess that's why it seems so jarring.
Yeah, this is
Yeah.
This has been the Tale of Tinuviel.
Yeah, this has been the Tale of Tinuviel. As always, you are listening to Pleasant Evenings Book Club. I'm Hannah, and I'm signing out for the night. Corbin and Roberto, you just want to say goodbye?
Yeah, goodbye. This is Roberto. Signing off as well.
I'm also signing off. Thank you for joining us for the very first time.
Yeah.
Yeah, the thing is, canonically, this is the first episode.
Yeah, coming next week for our very special guests coming in for the first time ever. We will have Corbin McLean, actually, and sorry. Right, I'm not going to extend the bit. All right.
Yeah, like later in I think later in the canon, Corbin will be known as Morgoth.
Yeah. Anyway, it's been wonderful. Thank you all for listening. I'm gonna call it there so I can end the recording and put some food in the oven.
Join us next time for we're gonna mix it up again. We're exploring another format. We're doing Doki Doki Literature Club, getting a little meta.
That's right.
Us being a literature club, of course, discussing a literature club.
Yeah. Hopefully has a, I can only hope that we have as pleasant of a book club as those nice little anime girls on the cover.
Yeah, join us for a real, easygoing, pleasant evening discussing Doki Doki Literature Club.
Yeah, I'm sure it'll be cute,
Yeah, we'll see how that goes. We'll see how this one ends up.